They're trying to grab the good goods. They trying to come in and take the best of the best from you, okay? Hey you guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian and today I have another video for you guys. So this is going to be kind of like a prophetic warning. And when I say warning, I don't mean to scare you in any way. It's just to give you some wisdom and insight on how to navigate your next season of elevation. So God talks to me a lot in dreams. That's how he relays a lot of messages to me and also to give to other people. So let's get into it. This message is going to be based off of Psalms 23:5. And I feel like a lot of people probably have heard this verse. This is something that is commonly quoted, and it is, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemy." God wants you to know that in your season of elevation, yes, this is the time where you are receiving the blessings that you have been waiting for, that you have fought for, that you just have been promised, even if it hasn't been anything extreme that you had to go through to get to your blessings. Once you actually get these blessings in your life, God does not want you to spoil them. And when I say spoil them, I don't mean that you literally do something to mess it up, but you don't want to allow outside things to come in and mess up your blessings. And you better know that those outside forces are willing to use people to take away what you have just been blessed with. Okay, so even though, yes, when you receive blessings from God, your blessings are your blessings, it is possible to allow those blessings to be mishandled or taken in your own will. Let's hop into the dream and then we'll speak a little bit of how it relates to your life, if this is the message for you. Okay, so in this dream, I'm gonna just, I don't know, I don't even have a name right now, but we're gonna say that there was a person, there was a girl, and in this dream, she was walking into this big yard, like this big, I don't even want to call it a yard, like land that a mansion is on. She was walking into that to attend a party. Now, this wasn't like a house party where it was like, crunk or nothing like that. Okay, this looked like a nice event to go to. It looked like an important house to go to. And the girl whose party it was somebody that the person knew from the past. Now, they weren't necessarily friends, they were more so like community members, I guess you can say. And so they had interactions before. And the girl who the dream is about got to see like this person like spazzed out on them and flip the script once she saw that this person was anointed or elevated, or just, it was just like a spaz out jealousy moment. Now, when I say anointed, I don't mean like preacher or anything like that. I just mean like gifted. And obviously, God has placed an anointing on this person to be able to do whatever. So this is like seasons after that. Like, so many seasons have passed and this is like a future thing. So she's at the door and the girl who was hosting the party, who had the nice mansion or whatever, let her in. So she enters the mansion and is acting as a guest to the event. So while she is in the mansion, she starts to see that there is something super perverse that happens at this party, okay? I don't even want to like mention that in this video. It's just know that there was something very perverse. And like while I was actually sleeping in the dream, I just felt like, oh my goodness, like this is beyond probably what you could even imagine that was happening in the dream. So it's not happening to the girl who the dream is about, but it's just like in the environment. And it just so happens that yesterday I was reading, I wasn't like looking anything up for this message, but I saw this scripture. So I actually want to not consider it a coincidence and give you guys this, because this will be insightful and helpful for when you start to elevate and go to higher places. You're more than likely going to start to see more what would be considered in the eyes of God as perverse things. Like, it may be normal in society and culture, but to God, this is perverse, okay? And I don't want to just talk about that one thing because I feel like is many things that could be considered perverse, but I get what God was trying to show me in the dream. Okay, so the scripture is Proverbs 28:6, and it says, "Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one perverse in his ways, though he be rich." Okay, so I thought that was so timely that I came across that. And so I wanted to add that in because in the actual dream, like as I was dreaming, I just felt like, oh, okay, so like going to higher levels, you're going to be exposed to different things. And a lot of the things are going to probably be enticing, probably look good, probably look like, oh, so this is just how things go now that I'm in this high place. And so this is just a warning to just be cautious. I know we all say like, oh, I would never do that. I would never be caught in this. I would never do that if I had this and that and got to this level. But I don't think most of anybody that gets to this high level and gets into different things expects, to end up in those different destructive patterns or ways or in certain situations. So remember to be humble because it literally could be anyone. None of us are better than anybody else. We could all be tempted in some way or another and you know end up in places that we never think that we could end up in. Now I hope that doesn't happen, but it's just wisdom to just understand that we're all human, okay? So, moving forward. So, finally, the girl leaves the event. Again, she didn't participate in any of the perverse things. That was just like a lesson in itself. So, she goes and leaves the event, and then she goes to another event. Now, this is more of like a more open event, like a public place. I almost want to say it had like a lounge feel, although the event felt like it was for a specific thing. So it wasn't just like a random night just going out. Now, there were people around her, like she was sitting at a table and then there was a table, like a booth next to her of some people. So the people themselves that were sitting at the booth didn't really matter as far as who they were, but it mattered as they represent wealth and they just represented people that were at a higher echelon. And so, is that a word? Higher echelon? They were just like, okay, I saw them and I knew that they just represented people that had a certain level of wealth. So she's sitting at her table, and her being in this room represents being at an elevated place, being at that next level of elevation. Like the doors have opened for this person to go to places that most people are hoping to go to or working to go to. It's gotten to that point where she has elevated enough to get to that place. Now, while she's sitting at the table, okay, God prepares a table in the presence of your enemy. She's sitting at a table. She has her food from the event. So, you know how places will have catering and stuff like that? She has her food with all that she wanted on her plate and it's down on the table. Now, while she's sitting at the table, like in the event, music going and stuff like that, enjoying the vibe or whatever, there is somebody who comes in and comes to her table. And this person, I know from the dream, based off of what I've seen in real life, like how they present themselves, this person has like a hater spirit, like jealous. You just walk in and look good and the person look at you stink. Like, you didn't do anything to anybody. You just walk in the building and the person got a stink look on their face staring at you. That's like hater energy. That's what the person that was walking up to her table, that's what the person represented, like that spirit. So that person comes in and is literally trying to eat off her plate, like comes to her section, comes to her area and is like, oh, can I have some food, like picking food off of her plate. And also is trying to sit in her chair. So there was one point where she was actually sitting in a chair, like with her plate in front of her at the table. And then there's another point where she's still at the table, like she's still in that area guarding her section. But this person is like sitting in her chair now. And after she's like picked at her food and ate off of her food, off of her plate, And she just like turned her back to the girl and is just trying to socialize around the girl. So when you get to your place of elevation, as you go higher, there are going to be people from your past who would have never given you the time of day in your lower seasons. And when I say lower, I don't even mean like rock bottom. I just mean like you're in the process of becoming. Like you're just in that process, your everyday life. There are people who would not even talk to you in that space, who was giving you stank looks, and not because you look bad, but because in their heart they felt like you thought you were better or you look better, whatever. That's just how they feel, okay? When you get to that high place, they're going to try to enter your life and they will try to mooch off of you. They will try to come in and be a part of the motion that you have going on in your life, okay? 1 second, y'all. I need a little intermission, okay? This is a banana bread latte with oat milk. So good, y'all. I learned how to make them at home. So good. Okay, y'all, so back to what was going on in your dream. So be aware of that. You do not have to let anyone in your life that you do not feel good about, or that you have some discernment going off saying, I don't know about this. You can just about count on people from your past trying to follow you into your new season. And it doesn't even have to be people that had like super close access to you in lower seasons. It could be people that just were around you in certain community spaces. They probably never really talked to you like that. But if they feel like this is an opportunity for my come up too, oh, I knew I've seen this person before back in the day. We talked a little bit, had a couple of conversations. Let me see if I can inch my way up into their life now. Let me see if we can be friends now. And, you know, give me a piece of the pie. This is how some people are. It's just human nature is selfish, okay? Human nature is, I didn't like you back then because I thought this about you. But now that I see you have come up, let me try to get me a piece of the pie too. Let me see if there's a way for me to get into. And remember how I said in the dream, at first the girl was like picking at her plate, which was not her plate. Okay, you need to go get your own plate, all right? The girl who the dream was about, she did what she needed to do to have that path made for her to get to where she's going. And now somebody that doesn't even like her is coming in and feeling entitled to get food off her plate. The person wasn't even a close person like in the dream. So I believe that that just means like, don't even think that it's just only going to be like close family or friends. This could even just be people that you have just met before in life, known before in life, that will try to enter your life. And, oh, I used to know him. I used to know her. Yeah, they probably talked to you like one conversation and now y'all is best friends, okay? There are people that will do that, so you have to be mindful of that as you are elevating. Okay, so let's continue to move on in the dream. So next in the dream, I noticed that there was somebody that entered a party that really wasn't supposed to be at the party. Like, I felt like they weren't really invited, but they were trying to monitor and keep tabs on the girl that was at the table, that had elevated, that had room made for her in life. Like, she went to the next level. So this person was related to somebody from her past that betrayed her, that did her dirty. And then I knew that something was off because it wasn't the actual person, but it was a family member of the person. Like, it was a grandma of the person. So this represents that there are some people from your past that are still monitoring your life, still want to know what's going on in your life when you're in this high elevated place. And so they will use minions, they will use whoever they can to try to get information on your life, monitor your life, and come in. And how I know this from the dream was that person, this was actually like a grandmother figure. So that person like enters the party and she obviously looked out of place. Like the way she was dressed was very casual. It wasn't like the other people at the event. And then just like the energy of the event, it just felt like she wouldn't have been there or didn't want to really be there, but she was there on a mission. So she was being used as a minion. So she comes in, doesn't say anything to anybody, but is just like monitoring the girl as she's in her elevated season. So there are some people that will be used to monitor your life. They want to monitor your progress and where you're going. It doesn't necessarily stop. You just have the wisdom and the knowledge to know how to navigate the things that are trying to be done against you. So there are some times that you will notice, and I have a video about familiar spirits. You will notice that there has been a specific spirit that has tried to follow you throughout your life, and this spirit is on assignment and is using people to carry out the assignment to try to sabotage you in life or to try to hold you back in specific ways. So for one person, it could be their career. For another person, it could be their love life. For another person, it could be that you know you're supposed to be an entrepreneur and you feel like you always have like something that comes in and tries to stop it or block it. For another person, it could be maybe something that's trying to keep you from having children. Like everybody's life is different, so you know what may be trying to come in and block you, but usually this is carried out through people. Like you'll notice the same kind of situation follows you. Like years can go by and then now you have somebody else coming to your life and trying to betray you in a certain way or try to do a certain thing towards you. That usually is a spirit trying to follow you down your bloodline to block you from certain blessings. So that is a whole nother story, but the person, like the grandma like person, represented a familiar spirit. Now of course you're covered and protected, but again, it's still wise to use wisdom. This is why God gives dreams and visions and instructions and speaks to us, because in whatever way he may speak to you in a different way, but he does this because there's obviously still a need for us to use wisdom. He would not need to waste his time instructing us and giving us warnings and how to use wisdom if it wasn't necessary, okay? So I know sometimes people have this mindset, oh, what's mine is mine. Nothing's going to stop what belongs to me, but that's not all the way true. There are some things that can come in and stop what belongs to you if you don't do your part, if you're not moving in wisdom, okay? Alrighty. Okay, you guys, so that was the gist of this video. As you start to elevate, just be mindful of the rooms that you enter and the things that go on in these different rooms. You don't want to enter into something that could lead to your own demise and destruction. And also, this was important to you. I wanted to make sure I pointed this out. It came back to me today because I thought about this yesterday. So the person was invited to a party of somebody who really didn't like them like that. So even people that don't like you, like when you get to this table, when you get to this point where you are at that table that God has prepared for you, it's going to be people that don't even like you, didn't even like you like that, trying to be in your space, trying to have you at their events, trying to have you, around them. And it is because of who you are, what you carry, what you have evolved to, okay? So be mindful of that too. You don't have to go to any and everywhere. You are able to guard where you want to go, no matter who it is, how high on the pedestal they have gotten to, okay? You have to look at yourself that way too, okay? I'm that girl, okay? I'm him, I'm her, okay? They're trying to invite you, okay? They want you at their stuff, okay? All right, so that I wanted to mention, and then you never know what's actually really going on in these certain places. So just use wisdom as you are entering new rooms. What you are okay with, you better be ready to stand on that. And what you're not okay with, you better be ready to stand on that too, okay? And then be mindful of those people that, again, don't really like you, don't really care that you're prospering and this or that. They just care about what they can get from you prospering. So they're trying to come in, people that would have normally not talked to you in a different place or in different seasons, to eat off of your plates that God has prepared for you, okay? And in this dream, this person didn't care. They was grabbing chicken wings. They was grabbing the good stuff, okay? All up in that plate, all right? That's how God talks to me, okay? I love me some chicken wings. They was grabbing the good stuff, okay? You know when you go to a party, you want them wings, okay? You want the good stuff. They was grabbing all of that. And it looked like it was celery and all of that stuff left on the plate, okay? Celery is good too, but you know, it just represents they're trying to grab the good goods. They trying to come in and take the best of the best from you, okay? And then not only that, but now you still have people from the past that are still going to be monitoring you. They're still going to be looking for stuff that they can use against you. They're still going to be trying to figure out how they can sabotage and stop you, even at the place where God has blessed you tremendously, okay? That's really when they want to come in and try to do damage, because you're at this high place. So let me see if I can cause them to fall at this high place. It was one thing for me to try to do it at their lower place, but it's more eyes on you now. It's more blessing on you now. So now they really want to come in and try to stop it, okay? But they're not going to be able to, but use wisdom, okay? Use wisdom with how you move. Look who's around you, who's trying to get in your space and, you know, get in the same spaces as you. Okay, that just came to me. Who's trying to get in the same spaces as you? Not even for their own selves because they want to be in these high spaces, but because they want to be around you and see how they can sabotage you. And just get ready for the next level. Get ready to be introduced to new people, higher things, okay? Things that you weren't once around, things that you weren't once exposed to. Now you're going to be around different people, different crowds, different environments. So, okay, you guys, so I just wanted to leave that with you. This is just one of those videos. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you, okay? You don't need to comment that. You don't have to say it. If you don't believe in this, that is fine too, okay? We don't need to hear that. All right, so I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great day and blessings on your next level. Blessings on the table that God has prepared for you. Alrighty? Bye.